pop the needle end into your little circle here.
What she gave me was absolutely shocking.
And then just inject into the middle of the pink.
I'd categorise it as a life-threatening.
You can do your stomach, your thighs or your arm.
My name's Thea Jacobs and I'm an investigative journalist at The Sun, and I've been looking into the world of illegal fat jabs. In November last year, I was made aware of a registered nurse selling fat jabs illegally. Now, what we initially thought she was doing was selling unmarked vials of each of the fat jab liquids, Mounjaro, Wegovy, Ozempic. In the UK, they're only licensed in pen form, which gives you a specific dose and doesn't involve drawing up a syringe yourself. These women told me that one of them had had no effects from the fat jab, the other one was left with painful welts and has since been scarred on her stomach. I then got in contact with Deborah Davison in Warrington, who has been marketing these jabs to people. After a couple of weeks of negotiation in which she told me she was having stock issues, we then settled on a date for me to come and collect. So on the 21st of May, I visited her salon, EHL Beauty and Aesthetics in Warrington, to go and collect the jab. Hi, jabs to pick up some jabs?
Here.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you?
Yeah. Did you find it okay?
Yeah, it was fine, pretty easy.
It's quite easy to find, isn't it?
What she gave me was absolutely shocking.
Right, so it's a month's worth.
Yep.
So I put, it's 4 syringes in there.
Okay.
There's a lot of bottles in here.
So I treat it like a pattern. Is there some more in there?
So this is a vial. So what you do is that just comes off the top, and then your needle's under there. If you pop the needle end into your little circle here.
Yep.
Turn it upside down and then just pull back. Have you had 7.5 before?
Yeah.
So you want to go to the 20.
Okay.
And that equals, when you split it, that equals your 7.5. And then where you want to inject. Where did you inject before?
I've done my stomach.
Yeah, because you can do your stomach, your thighs or your arm.
Yeah.
Most people go for the stomach because it's the area that's got more fat on. If you come sort of around here on the side, you don't want to be too near your belly button.
Yep.
So I always say to everybody, sort of around in sort of this square here, just get a good pinch and then just inject into the middle of the pinch.
Cool.
And then just push the thing down and that's it.
Great. Thank you very much.
See you later.
Cheers. You too.
Bye.
She gave me an unmarked, unlabelled glass vial that had a third of liquid in it. Under UK laws, medication in the UK has to be sold in labelled packaging with dosage instructions, concentration, and exactly what it is. Now, we believed we'd bought Mounjaro 7.5. However, I sent that little vial off to the University of Sunderland, where they told me it was Retatrutide. Retatrutide is an unlicensed, untested new fat jab. It is still in stage 3 clinical trials in the USA. The MHRA, which is the regulations body for medication and medical devices, told me that Retatrutide cannot legally be sold in the UK. It cannot be prescribed, and anything marketed as Retatrutide may well not be, because there is no legal way of obtaining it in the UK. The other thing that was shocking was that this vial had had the little metal safety seal removed and a needle hole was very clear in the top of the rubber bung. Once we had this tested, I then approached Deborah Davison with what we'd found, that she was a registered nurse who'd sold me an illegal fat jab, and what she'd sold me wasn't Mounjaro 7.5, but it was Retatrutide, which is experimental. In response, she told me she didn't realise that she'd sold me Retatrutide, that if she had known that she'd sold me that drug, she would have given me different dosing instructions. She also claimed that all she wants to do is help people and that she only supplies 4 people. However, she didn't fully acknowledge that what she was doing is illegal. She claimed the vials were unmarked because they were for personal use. She also claimed that all her clients know that they're not going to get a prescription for this medication, which is the lawful way to obtain it in the UK. We've spoken to many medical experts about fat jabs, Retatrutide and the licensed variants. We spoke to Dr. Kazim, who was horrified at the fact that this registered professional, a nurse, is playing games with people's health.
I'd categorise it as a life-threatening danger, really. The problem is that we don't have any understanding as to what's in the injectables, first of all. We have no idea as to the complications that can come from it, because there's not enough clinical data with unregulated injectables to see what complications can happen. I think that it's really high risk in the sense that, anyone, whether it be non-medics or medics, should not be giving off-license or unregulated medications, because they can cause problems such as localized infections, necrosis, abscesses, but also looking at long-term symptoms as well, complications that can affect one's life. The risk factor is completely different. So what was in the vial is Retatrutide, which has reached phase 3 clinical trials, but it's not FDA or MHRA approved anywhere in the world or here in the UK either. We don't have enough long-term data. So in terms of what may happen, we still don't know the risk of what might happen in terms of how severe that risk can be. But what I can say is that from what we understand, even if the dose was somewhat measured, or if the dose in this case, in this instance, it was very difficult to ascertain what that dose actually is. Patients can go into what we call hypoglycemic shock, where the blood sugar gets very low. They may well end up getting complications such as pancreatitis, worsening of colorectal or kind of gastrointestinal issues, potentially going into severe profound dehydration or in a malnutrition state. All of which can precipitate other problems if they have other comorbidities or other conditions that they're suffering from. Fat jabs in general, when they're unregulated. So it's often I see patients coming into clinic who have been to other practitioners who are non-medics usually, who have been given these injections in a plastic bag or given these injections in a way that's not licensed or labeled correctly, or there's been some very questionable instructions there, but they've ended up with complications. So a lot of patients that I've seen have had abscesses in the area. They've had oozing areas of pus that have come out from the skin where they've been injecting, and actually they've sent those products off for testing and it's not being what it says on the tin, really. Other complications that I've seen are really bad gastrointestinal effects, nausea, profound vomiting that have ended up patients in hospital. I've had to refer a couple of patients who have taken these injections to A&E, who have come to see me within private general practice or who I've come across on my travels. Just very bad complications that have come from what may or may not be what you're getting. So I think it's so important to see a medical professional who has an accreditation, has a prescribing license, is able to give a clear accounting view and take a proper documented history and prescribe something suitably within correct licensed indication for you.
If you get a fat jab through your doctor or a prescriber, you would have to have a certain BMI, and that differs depending on whether it's NHS or private. Fat jabs require careful monitoring, careful dosing, and that's why it's very important that people do get this through a proper professional who is giving you a prescription. Deborah didn't check what medications I was on, my medical history, if I'd actually had it before. She only asked if I'd had that dose before. She explained to me how to inject, but she didn't tell me the storage. She also told us that she'd mixed up that vial of medication herself that morning.